Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Preston. I'm here with Sam. Say hello.
Hello, it's a special episode. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yes, it's a special episode, so go ahead and hit that like, hit subscribe while you're on the page subscribing. Go to that community tab and post your deck list into that post so that we can feature your deck list in a future video. This is a special video because we're talking about the newly released set 3 leaders. That's why Nami is here showing off our Nami hype.
I'm pretty excited. They every time they drop leaders, it's usually one or so here and there. But we got, I would say, 90% of the leaders almost off the bat. So I'm pretty excited to go through them right now.
Yeah, I can't remember what the post says, but this might be either all of the leaders from set 3 now revealed or all but a few that they're probably keeping a little secret. So let's pull
Yeah.
up the post and see what it
Pull up the
says
post. We're only
about
going to
it.
go through the new leaders. We already went through a couple of leaders on here. I'll link the video where we did. It'll be right here. But we're just going to go through the 5 new leaders that were shown here, and we're going to go through that now. The first one is Ace. Ace is a red leader, 5,000 power and 5 life. He is. When this leader attacks or is being attacked, you may trash any number of event or stage cards from your hand. For each card you trashed, it is plus 1,000 power for this leader during this turn.
Yeah,
Boom.
and this leader synergizes with the buggy that we saw in the news this week, um, that searches event cards. It's a very interesting effect. I believe his effect activates on like attack declaration. So before counter, before blocker, before all of that, he's able to defend. So it's really interesting when you think of when being attacked, you can use this effect. Um, and when we were thinking about it, you could play a lot of event cards like Sabaody or I Smell Adventure, cards that have value sometimes that may lose value in matchups that they're not needed as much, like Round Table and stuff like that. It also says stages, so you could play Moby Dick and bounce your extra stages because you only need one. You can't get rid of them currently. So if you have an extra one in hand, it's a good way to use that to gain free counter power on event cards. Um, the weird thing about this is if you're discarding event cards, usually your event cards are minimum plus 2k. Maximum, there's a plus 6k. I don't know if Red has one of those yet, but still, um, it's awkward to me. But if you're using it on those activate main ones, once they lose value towards the end game, free counter power on a card that is dead in your hand is incredible.
Yeah, I'll be the bad guy. So Ace is interesting in this current meta, right? Red has a lot of value in the aggression in the early game, and it's fortified through Zoro and Whitebeard, right? They're very early game focused. Whitebeard being very healthy, 6 life, and being 6K is very strong innately. And Zoro obviously has been very strong on this current meta. So thinking about those decks, Ace wouldn't be able to play those and be equal. So you would have to be a slower version, and that type of deck right now isn't surviving in the meta. Very few have been, and that's Kaido. No, I think it's just Kaido. And he's obviously very, very, very late game focused, and that late game from Ace doesn't really hold up. I think you can play a lot of niche cards. I think Red has the only event card searchers besides a couple blue ones, I think. That's very interesting. You can really easily make higher value of those. But the argument is made you can just activate the card and pull a 1,000 combo card out of it with it. So it's hard to justify this Ace. I'm also very interested to see when this effect activates. I think phasing wise, that could change his value. Because if it's a little later, that could make it interesting. So that could definitely change the strength of Ace. So for now, he's questionable. But if it is earlier, I would say he might be one of the worst. One of the more least interesting red leaders to be shown so far, because they've all been heats so far. So we'll see.
Right. Yeah,
Sure.
if set 3 red events are nasty,
True.
it might make it interesting, but
True.
it kind of goes against the current pace of red.
Definitely, and we haven't seen a lot of set three. Let's do keep that in mind. So we are reading it off what we currently have.
Hmm.
So that's the read we're making. Of course, there could be a lot of red event cards that are shown. It seems red event focused. That Buggy said it. We did only get three in the last set, and I'd imagine that's the trend going forward since we're adding another color as well. So I'd only expect maybe three, maybe four because we're getting an extra one, but we'll see.
Yep. And as you were going to say before that, Captain Kuro. Captain Kuro is a green leader, 5 life, 5k power, slasher, East Blue, Black Cat Pirates. He has an effective activate main, tap 3 Dawn. You may rest 2 characters with East Blue type. Then set this leader to active and rest one of your opponent's characters with cost 5 or less. It's a mouthful, and I think there's a lot of mixed value. Do you want to jump into this one first?
Yeah, I'll be the bad guy. So Kuro is interesting, right? So we already have this effect, I think, with Kid. We know it's very similar. It costs 3, just like Kid does. Kid's effect does require a hand discard, which to me is pretty costly. Hand value is very, very important in this game. But for Kuro to activate his effect, he has to rest 2 East Blue cards. For Kuro's defense, the 2 East Blue cards we have seen so far are very good. The Nami is a very good searcher, and I do very much like Jin. I think Jin has a lot of value. Resting 2 character cards, and the 2 leaders we've seen so far are East Blue, so Gin has some opportunities to use this effect. So, in Kuro's defense, the 2 we've seen so far are good. But you do have to have 2 on the board. Again, the decks we've seen so far in the meta have been very, very aggressive and controlling the board. Green right now has a lot of cards like Cat Viper, Aizo, Yamato, cards that are very good at controlling the battlefield. So it's hard to maintain this board. I think that's why we've seen Law do a little less worse in the meta. So keeping 2 characters on board is a difficult task. I do like that Kuro has the opportunity to rest a 5 or less. That might help our late game matchups maybe with some purple. So there are some things here, but keeping 2 character cards on board can be quite difficult. So I'd argue that Kid just slightly does this effect better.
Yeah, it's a pretty heavy cost. It would be interesting to see if like Kuro Pirates and the Black Cat Pirates are maybe low cost characters,
Yeah.
so you can maybe play a couple per turn, which allows you to activate this effect. It'll be very dependent on what East Blue Pirates come out of this set for this leader to have any success, because it is a pretty expensive effect to run when you
Right.
could just run Kid.
Right, and they have to stick too, right? So you have to have them on board, and they have to have some kind of stick or something. Because once you rest the 2, I have to imagine they're probably going to get cleared to limit your leader. So
Yeah.
it's tough. It's a tough sell for me right now. It can obviously change depending on what the East Blue cards look like. More we'll know. More we'll know very soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next, again,
The Nami.
featured the Arlong, so we're going right into the Nami. I'm very excited about this one. Nami, 5 life. As an additional rule, when your deck reaches 0 cards, you win the match instead of losing it. Dawn times 1. When your opponent takes damage to their life through the attack of this leader, you may trash 1 card from the top of your deck.
So exciting. It's so exciting. I played Light Sworn, I played Chaos Sworn in Yu-Gi-Oh! Milling off the top of my deck is just something I look forward to. I love playing decks like this. If we get anything that says activate, like Wolf from Light Sworns, where they get to be played from Discord if they're milled, or any type of effect that happens when discard from the top of your deck, that's gonna make this leader incredible. The extra fact that you win, not lose. Lightsworns had the fact that when you do deck out, your game's over and you lost.
Happened a lot.
Uh, oh, I mean that's the state of the deck. You win fast because you have this extra mechanic, or you lose because you overuse your mechanic,
Right.
and that just happens. But you win when that happens with this deck, which is an incredibly cool way to play the game. They have to be very careful how they word these effects. If they say on discard, you just power up set to Evank to a level that is terrifying. We've already seen Avonk win a championship. That meta Monday is up. We'll link it, yeah, right above Sam.
Yes.
Uh, it's exciting. You can be the bad guy on this one if you can try, but I don't know if there's a bad thing to say about this leader.
No, I'll be the good guy here. So I'm a really big lover of blue. I think blue has been the most interesting color so far. It might not be the most winning so far, but I will say the way you get to play the game has been the most exciting through blue. They've had the most diversity in their leaders. I would say through Dofi, through Avank, through Nami. We've seen very different ways to play the game. And I like the idea of winning the game through different metas and through different ways. I played the Naruto version of this, and they did something very similar. They did no hand into a discard version. It seems very similar. I liked playing Babidi in Dragon Ball. It was a very weird leader. It was different, but it was fun. So she seems like that. I don't know how good this will be. It seems very difficult to me to lose your entire deck to win the match. There would have to be a lot of things to happen. You're probably gonna have to combine Avank cycling through a lot of hands really quickly to do this. I like the idea of the Vonk being played and you drawing maybe 3 or 2 cards off of it. That really helps you deck on your deck. So there are some opportunities here for Nami. This seems very difficult from a meta specific way, so that might be the only downside here, if that is your true way to win the game. But you can attack with her. It could be a normal way to play the game.
Yeah,
There are not a lot of new. There are no blue cards actually so far from set 2. It's just the promo from 2 days ago that we saw. So there's
yeah,
no support for this so far.
right.
I'm excited though.
It's super exciting. I think in set one, on average, you're ending with high 20 cards in your deck, low 30s. So as the game is now, and even with Avank, you're probably ending in low 20s, high teens
Yeah.
in your deck because you're drawing at least one card per turn. And then if you are able to clear your hand, you're drawing two. So you're drawing 4 cards per turn with that leader compared to everyone else that's drawing one.
Yeah.
Um, so Avant can do this with all of the support that they have.
Yep.
Nami doesn't have that support yet, but oh, I can't wait to see the character cards and event cards that come from this set with this leader. I hope they give more support to this leader than they do to anything else. I
Blue's
hope
been good about
that,
it.
yeah, I hope they don't get the set 2 purple treatment. As long as it doesn't get set 2 purple treatment, I'll be happy.
Yikes! What a horrible transition into our boy Iceberg. Oh no. That's so funny. Iceberg is a Iceberg is a 5 life purple leader. This leader cannot attack. Activate main. Dawn -1. You may rest this leader. Play up to 1 character with the gallery, La Company type that costs 5 or less from your hand.
Yeah, and this is another very unique leader effect.
Our group chat blew up with
Um,
that one. I'm gonna be honest.
oh, it's super exciting. Um, Law has spoilers for Water 7. Law has all of the same characters as CP9 plus a couple others.
They do?
Um,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, plus a few extra that weren't CP9 characters. But if you know CP9, you most likely know the Law characters. Um, so you have interesting characters that you're gonna have coming out. So if their effects are good on turn, if you go second, on your turn one, you have one Dawn open to play a 1 drop, and then you use that one Dawn that you already tapped with the leader effect to get rid of it, and you have a 5 drop. So now you have a 1 drop and a 5 drop and one Dawn open. You just continue that trend, and if they get a little bit of ramp that you can add from random ramp cards, that's a plus. If you get really good 5 drop cards out of this Galley Law stuff, that's a huge plus. The downside, and you can mention this on the downside, you can't attack with it. That's something that we don't have in a leader right now. So you lose your ability to attack first turn with leader. You have, or the first chance you get with your leader. That's weird. It's different. But can the characters hold up against that? This character is the boss of a company. He's directing stuff. It's very, very good for character archetype, and following that. I hope it's good because man, that is an insane build. I can't imagine. Wow.
It's fun. It's good character design. You're right. It's very perfect to his role in the show and him as a person in the show. So I really do appreciate that. But he's going to be a very 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 hard leader to play. Your leader attack has been very crucial in not only winning games but maintaining control of the board. So your character cards have to do all of the work. So I'm gonna imagine all of them, but probably well, the gentleman that's sitting right next to him are gonna be 5 drops. They're all gonna be easily played. They have to be sticky though. One has to be a blocker. If there's ramp, that's going to be crucial for this deck because if you fall behind and you've been minusing one, you're not going to be able to come back. And if you've been minusing one and you've been keeping even, you're going to be falling behind because your leader can't attack. So these character cards have to be strong and you have to be able to keep up tempo wise with a meta that has been very tempo aggro already and been playing large drops for cheaply. Kinemon's been playing Denjiro, the 4 drop, on turn 2. That's a 5 drop, 6K, 7K that's been dropping on turn 2. Sanji has been playing the Vanilla Mihawk, the 8 drop, the 8K on turn 2. Very, very damaging to your early game meta. And those are potential bad matchups for Iceberg. It will greatly come down on the character cards, and if they are playable, if they are sticky, if they are have a lot of good keywords, this deck's going to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting.
Yeah, super exciting. It's so different, and that's why I'm hyped about it.
Fun. Fun, fun, fun. Definitely another deck I am very excited to play.
Yeah.
Last but not least.
Charlotte Lin Lin, black, yellow, 4 life, 5k power, 4 Emperor, Big Mom Pirates. Uh, Dawn times 2, so you have to attach 2. Then you have to be attacking, so when attacking, tap 2 Dawn, trash 1 card from your hand. If you have 1 life or fewer cards in your life area, put 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life area. If it said top or bottom, I think it would be better. Um, because
Oh, bottom
that
would be amazing.
yeah, because you have to draw the top card. A lot of the yellow cards say top or bottom. I can understand why it is forcing you to put it to the top because there's too much advantage of recovery. But this is a very expensive effect. We were talking about expensive effects with Kuro, uh, having 2 attached, tapping 2, and then discarding 1 is wild just for 1 Dawn recovery.
Yeah, I'll be the bad guy. So it's yeah, expensive is, and if we just take a quick peek at the leaders that are good now, Kinemon, Zoro, Kid, these leaders are easy effects. These effects are not costly, and they are usually just large pluses. And they are all 5 life leaders. That is another huge detail right now. The meta is very aggressive, very quick, and having that extra life is detrimental. So if you're going to be a 4 life leader, you need to be able to be aggressive. You need to be able to sustain. And the only ones that have been able to hang around is Kid, who has been slightly falling off, and Z, who is slightly coming up. I'm so excited to see some of these Z lists. So for Charlotte Lilin, the first thing is it's going to cost a card in your hand on top of costing 4 mana. So in a perfect world, in a turn 10, you have 4 mana that you cost. Then you also have 6 mana open, and you just regained a life. So you have maximum 2. That doesn't seem like enough to defend yourself. And you're also putting the top card of your life to your top card of your deck to your life. There has been no top of your deck manipulation so far for black or yellow. It's always been top 5 and then send the rest to the bottom. So there doesn't seem like a lot of top of your deck manipulation either, so we can't even guarantee a trigger card as well. Those are things that are slightly concerning for me for this leader. She does have potential for more cards to come out. She is dual type leader, so those leaders always do have that respect for the next set. So that's always something to look forward to. But right now, with the cards that we've seen, this leader is very, very worrisome. And it's hard to make the case that she is going to be strong with just the cards we've seen so far.
It is potentially troublesome too, because being able to recover life is new to this game. Recovery is nasty. Zach has talked about how Digimon, the yellow deck gets up to like 11 life total. I don't know if it's like at one time or just throughout a game you have to clear 11 life. That's bad for someone that's used to going through six direct attacks. So even though this is only 4 life, she gets the effect off once. She's a 5 life dual color leader. She gets it off twice. She's equaled with the Whitebeard pirate, Edward Newgate, with 6 life. It is very expensive, but it can also get super annoying. I can imagine going for, like, you finally get them down to zero. Their turn, all they have to do is every time they hit zero, use this and use their 6 Dawn to be annoying. So it's, yeah, it could be troublesome, but very expensive. So it's very much middle of the pack right now. Um, but yeah, super exciting to see these leaders. When they popped off, we just went off in the group chat, so we had to make a special video for this. If you made it this far, give us a thumbs up. Super excited for this video. If you enjoyed our content, hit subscribe, ring the bell. You know what to do. You're on YouTube. Um, Go to that community post again. I'm gonna shout that out again. Super excited to make that video. And until next time, thank you all for watching. Later.
Bye bye.